We had a 5-second white noise comm that blasted through the system last night at 1700 hours.
Yes, sir. Trip the outer perimeter alarm at the same time.
Cheer up, sir. What's the worst that could happen?
What the hell?
Hi, this is Joshua Alvarez from Canada Star TV, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting project. I'm telling you, it's really, really interesting. It's called E.L.E. So today we're going to interview two of our special guests. We have Simon and we have Jamie. Let's talk about your project.
Thank you for having us on, Josh. Our show is called E.L.E, which is a bit of an acronym. It stands for Extinction Level Event. The show is all about the last hour on Earth that all of mankind have. We catch up in a small military town, is our pilot episode, and what we're seeing is sort of like a first-hand, almost documentary style account of how people are spending what they think might be their last hour on Earth because they are subject to some kind of extraterrestrial attack. That's what the story is, and every episode we leapfrog around to different areas within the same town that can't communicate with each other. So it's this idea of like, what would you do if sort of TV, radio, phones, everything goes down? You have nothing, no internet, nothing, and you believe that you're under attack. This is how different environments, everything from the military to a hospital to the police to just regular people, handle that last hour and how they act. And obviously there are good people doing bad things and bad people doing some good things. But that's just the theme of the story. Perhaps something that's a bit more interesting about it is how we made it. And for that, I'm going to turn over to Jamie.
So the really unique way that we shot this is we shot it all in one take. So for 45 minutes from the beginning to end, it's like a roller coaster ride where you're basically viewing into this world and seeing everything that's happening in real time throughout the entire thing. So it's like kind of like a live show. It's kind of like a play in some ways, and it allows the viewer to actually feel like they're there.
So everything in just one take.
Yeah.
There's no reprieve from anything. It's just it's kind of energy all the way through. There's no lull in the story, and having no, like traditionally speaking, with no cuts, no edits away to other parts of the story or other characters, allows you. It's sort of like a claustrophobic feel, I think, when you get it, because you're like, there's no escaping this information. There's no time for you to take a commercial break or anything like that. There's just this story, and you have to deal with the information in front of you in real time. So it feels very much like the camera is, when Jamie's sort of operating here, it feels like he's almost a character in the story because he's sort of showing us what we need to see.
Wow.
I think we're the first ever people to produce a TV show like this. I know some movies have been done in one takes, but even those movies where we were discussing on the ride in here, they're sometimes like hidden edits are happening within the takes. Ours is a genuine, he's holding the camera there with his crew for 45 minutes and
Yeah, so when you actually see the end product, it's truly no digital stitching. There's no camera tricks. It is one take the whole way through.
So production-wise, it must be a big challenge.
It's a nightmare. It's an absolute, for every possible reason.
Yeah.
From my standpoint, being the person that actually operates the camera, like you're walking backwards, up and down stairs. I have to physically hold a 40-pound camera that's like over $100,000 worth of camera equipment strapped to my body, that if I trip and fall, that's it. That would cause a lot of problems or whatever. But not only the technical standpoint of shooting it, but also for the actors as well. It's a marathon.
That's right.
We have that theater idea of like, whatever happens, the show has to go on, because it's okay if you make a mistake in a traditionally made movie, because you have this thing of like, oh well, we can cut and we can start again. But if you don't have it, you have this live take, you have that theater idea of the show must go on, no matter what happens, we keep going, we must keep going, we must keep filming. It doesn't matter where it is, sort of. So that's our energy that we bring to it. And like that, the show is, when we were talking about making it, myself and Jamie and Paul, the director, it's kind of a gamble. We're not really sure if it's going to work. Even when we start every episode, we have to sort of figure the things out. And even when we figured them out, they're still logistically and physically and everything wise very difficult to do. Just because we figured out a plan doesn't mean that we'll be able to stick to it. And even then, there's always that sort of X factor unknown element of an actor forgetting his lines. And there's, if Jamie's pointing the camera right in some guy's face, there's really not much he can do if the actor forgets the line. There's nothing anybody can do. It's all on that moment. So, but that's also the energy that I think kept us behind the camera and actors as well in front of the camera going is that live energy.
Yeah. When I told colleagues that I was doing this in one take, and they asked how long it would be, and I said it's 50 minutes, and the response was 15 minutes. There's no way you can do a straight take for 15 minutes. I was like, no, it's 50 minutes.
5-0.
Yeah.
1-5.
Yeah. It's literally like the.
At that point, I think they hang up. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, "This is a prank call."
No, it's just like nobody would attempt this. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but the pilot turned out quite good.
Beautiful, beautiful.
We learned a lot along the way. I think we do it slightly different for the remaining of it because it was a huge learning curve to figure out just exactly how you would do this. But it turned out really good. It's really entertaining.
What we did as well, we didn't shy away from any of the challenges. Jamie didn't love this when we first did it, but so we had this environment. The pilot episode is set inside an old Cold War fallout shelter, like a bunker.
Like a bunker.
And it's like 5 underground, subterranean sort of floors. And what we did when we were sort of plotting out the story was, we went to every different floor. So rather than, because there is this idea of it's in one take, there would be a temptation to make it logistically easy. Let's stay on one floor.
Yes.
Let's just do one bit.
No, you guys went for the whole thing.
We went for the whole thing, in and out. So we take the stairs, take the elevator, tight spaces, big spaces, getting into awkward,
Yes.
spaces. Every place that we could go, not because we wanted to go there, but because we're like, where should the story take us? And then everywhere the story takes us, we just found a way for the camera to follow.
And how many was it? 8 levels? 5 levels?
I think it was 8 levels down, but we actually visited 5. I think
5.
So we were on 5. Yeah.
All in real time.
All in real time.
I
So,
mean,
like-
you'd be out of breath yourself going up and down there. So there's never mind with
Yeah.
all this.
But not only physically doing it too, but you always have to make sure everything's properly.
Oh,
in
man,
frame.
this is great.
You gotta so there's a scene change, and we're gonna walk into another room. So I didn't have to know every word of the script. I would have to know every story beat of when. Okay, now we're moving to this location because this person said that kind of thing.
Yeah. And Jimmy would be following different people at different points.
Yeah.
So we'd have to remember that he was following, say, you to begin with. But when you start chatting to your colleague, he actually leaves with the colleague, So you have to kind of remember that. And what was normally speaking, what we would do is we would put a mic in his
Yes.
ear and tell him, right, you're now following guy on the right, but because we were doing the pilot episode underground, we couldn't use any walkie-talkies.
No
or any
walkie-talkies.
radios. So it made it was old school, and it made it really, we just had to have runners like running, things, but there was no one. I mean, he had a lot of help because he had a couple of camera assistants to make sure he was walking backwards and stuff. He
Yes.
doesn't bump into things. He's going downstairs.
Beautiful.
But he didn't have any real help, unfortunately. You were kind of on your own, just memorizing where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then the problem with that is Jamie sometimes might be where he's supposed to be, and then the actor isn't. So there's a moment of thinking, oh, am I supposed to be here?
And every time we did it, it's a true one take. On the final night, I think we did it 5 times. We actually shot 5 different takes where we never stopped. And every time you do that, it's always slightly different.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Like I might not be in the exact same spot I was when this person said this, or the actor might not be in the right spot. So it was always fluid. Like you never really know what was going to happen.
Tried to have the actors, I think, help him a little bit, going like, if you know it's your line and he's over somewhere else, you should find the camera. Come and do your stuff.
Wow.
You come and do your dialogue in front of that. And the actors were, we had Al Sapienza from The Sopranos and stuff like that, Jason
Yes.
Thorne, ex-Power Ranger Jason Thorne. We had a bunch of very professional, very good actors on the show. But what they loved about it was, I think, this live take set.
Absolutely.
And they had this idea of like, we got to keep going. And they really, they gave it all every time. They were so excited to do it that every time we finished a take, they wanted to go straight away again. But
I needed a break. I literally had to change my clothes. After
Yes,
every
eh?
take. We shot in the summertime too. It was super warm. We shot overnight.
Yes.
30 degrees every day.
And I'm sure from an actor point of view, it should be a challenge, right? That they're looking forward to.
I think that's it. Sometimes when you get these sort of seasoned professionals, they've done a lot of TV, they've done a lot of movies. They're always looking for the new thing. What's the new thing? And this, to give them there's always this, actors always idolize Broadway because they love the immediacy of
absolutely.
live performance.
Yes,
So
that's
you're
true.
kind of giving them both things here. You're giving them this isn't theatre, so it's not like, so it's not that, but it is TV, but it is live, sort of. So, and that's how we're going to do every episode in the show.
Well.
So we've only done the pilot at the moment, but we're racing on into the rest of the season now.
I'm very excited about this, but you're pitching it, right?
That's right.
So now the question is, what can we do to be part of this, to
You
help
guys
this out?
can help us by getting the word out wherever you can. We have an Indiegogo campaign, a crowdfunded runner. If somebody would like to see a sneak peek of the pilot itself, we've got a promo that shows you not just bits of the pilot, but also behind the scenes footage of us, how we made it, how we rehearsed it, and how we got the thing going. And and just get in touch and tell us how tell us that you want to help us make this show.
That's great. That's great. Will you have a word that you would like to tell us?
That if people are interested in helping fund it, we're offering, you can have a role on the show. That's right.
A role on the show.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So you test your talents yourself. Come down with us. It'd be long nights, but
But it's worth it.
Long nights,
You'll
but it's
be
worth
super
it.
famous afterwards.
Oh, great, great. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a great privilege talking to both of you, and I'm looking forward to see this show coming to live. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So
Us too.
okay. No, it's great, and I'm very excited about this.
Excellent. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
So
having us.
thank you very much for being here.
Remember to check out our show, E.L.E. Extinction Level event on Indiegogo.